after exerting myself going on a hiking, right? So I went to the top, and there was a flag, a national flag, and it gave me a lot of satisfaction.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a great achievement. What can I
yes.
say? Anyway, so what's up, Minho?
What's
Hi.
up?
Are you alive?
Um, Halfly.
Barely, right? People always say
Like
barely.
you are talking about achievement kind of thing, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Go hiking.
Oh,
She
yeah,
went to the top of the mountain today.
Yeah, up three
really. Dang.
tops of
Yeah.
a mountain.
He's
Wow.
very
Yeah,
proud of it.
yeah, I was really proud of it because I spent around 4 hours straight,
Yeah.
for the whole journey, for the whole hiking. So that was a really exhausting and physically demanding trip
I
to me.
al- I also achieved something today. Today I
Oh,
scored one goal
what's that?
in a football
Oh.
match, which is something
Oh,
that I haven't done in a long time.
oh my God! So I'm a role of a defender when
Yeah.
it comes to
I'm
football.
a winger. What you call
Yeah,
winger?
but more often I can score more than once. Like I could make a dot.
A hat trick?
Probably
A,
the hat trick. No,
Yeah.
a
sometimes
double?
I can get a hat trick, but most of the time just a double. You know. But I could see myself and my friends tell me that I'm a really really good defender.
Okay.
God.
No.
Because my
What
body,
does it take to be a good defender?
your observation skills
Observe
is
what?
yeah, because I am at the end of like the final defender,
Right.
or
Mm.
The
yeah,
only
lower in the lowest part
the
of
only
our
one
Mm.
standing between
yeah yeah
the
yeah
forward, the striker, and the goalkeeper. Right.
yeah, like I'm just like higher than the position of the goal.
Mm.
So I mean, when
In
other
Hanoi, we call it tongue. Tongue means like
than
the
Tom.
the
Okay.
lowest level of defender. Okay.
Yeah, the lowest. Yeah. So I have to like, observe and see how other
Mm.
defenders who are like in a higher position of mine,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
There are a
If
lot
they are,
of skills that are required. The first one I think is to predict
yeah,
the
predict
movement
the movement
of the striker,
of the strikers of the other team.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Mm.
anticipating. How do you spell that word? And
anticipate.
anticipating the pass of the winger,
Mm.
right? To predict it,
Mm.
anticipating it.
Like anticipating the pass of the winger.
No,
Like,
đoán, predict.
yeah, predict, yeah, the movements of the striker of other teams. But if like
Mm.
my defender, like other defenders of my team, like they are passed, right? They are passed by other by the strikers.
Mm.
Mm.
I have to join, right, to face and to deal with that situation
Mm.
by
Mm.
Make some tackle
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
You
make
often
some
make tackle.
tackles.
Swap.
Yeah, or yeah, do
Mm.
something to prevent them from shooting into
Scoring goals, right?
on into the lưới.
The goal.
The goal,
The
yes,
net.
the net đúng không?
The goal là cái goal. The net là
Mm.
cái lưới. Into the
Shooting
net cũng được. Đều như nhau.
yeah, shooting into the net, right?
I
So
think that shooting is okay. From shooting, it's okay.
Shooting. Yeah.
yeah, but apart from that, the flexibility, it's
And
also
also a key, I think, a key skill that a defender needs to have is aerial power, which means aerial means in the air, right? Some of the header when the ball comes to you from the air, right?
Mm.
Trên không,
Mm.
yeah. Then you need to deal with it.
area.
Mm.
You need to jump very, jump quite high.
Oh, power. Yeah, but I don't think so. In like a small size football match, because normally when they get cái thằng góc đá góc là gì nhỉ?
Corner.
Corner.
Corner
When they
kick.
get corner,
Corner kick.
yeah, when they get a corner kick,
Đá phạt là gì?
like a
Penalty.
Free kick.
yeah when they get free kick or corner kicks, they most of the time just chuyền là gì?
Pass.
Pass the ball to other.
Make a short pass,
Yeah,
right?
but they don't. Có bóng là gì? Có bóng. Khó. Cái này khó hiểu rồi.
Not sure. Chỉ biết
Đúng
chọc
không?
khe thôi.
Đúng rồi, bởi vì rõ ràng gì đá anh mà team 10 người có bao giờ mà câu bóng nhiều đâu, toàn là chuyền thôi. Đúng không?
Chọc khe là through ball. Yeah, through ball.
Okay. Yeah, so they are hardly like they're not likely to câu bóng to other people, so we don't need an aerial power much.
Maybe like an aerial pass, maybe like a.
Yeah, probably aerial pass. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So
So Minho, do you play sport? Let's just say no. Just say no.
I play sport on a
No, I
bad.
used to play. Actually, I used to play sport quite a lot when I was a child. Actually,
Yeah. Which one?
When I was in my high school, because at that time, in my school there was a year for the students to play whenever it is in break time.
It was whenever it was. Yeah,
I'm not sure about the tense already at that time. So okay, whenever it was.
Whenever.
Right. So you catch me. And because of that, then I could spend most of my time in the break time to play some games with my friends.
Games?
However, and
What kind of sports?
Okay, so to be more specific, at that time there's kind of a volleyball net for all the students together. So in the field, it's quite a small field, so that we can play volleyball together. There also a space for some students, to play football. It's quite a large field.
As well, okay.
There is maybe like 10 or 12 students for each side to play, and it's still enough. The space was still sufficient for them to play. 10
sufficient.
or 12.
With the strong S.
Right.
Yeah. Like you're kissing your girlfriend.
I got it. Okay, so but until now, like as I was saying, as I told you before, that I am an English teacher, and because of that, my time, most of the time,
limited.
I am fully occupied by tons of works and deadlines, and because of that, I couldn't squeeze any time to play football or do
the Vietnamese flag, national flag.
Vietnamese flag là national flag.
Vietnamese flag là cái tế hiểu rồi. Một nước thì chỉ có một flag thôi.
Thì là a national flag of Vietnam.
Yeah, của Việt Nam.
Sure.
Or a national, Vietnamese flag, or I see
a flag of Vietnam.
National flag.
You can just say national flag because the examiner would know that you're from Vietnam.
Okay.
Look at my national flags. Maybe it's okay, right?
Oh, yeah, not mine. You don't own it, but more like the national flag.
The national flag.
You don't own the flag, so people wouldn't say my national flag.
Oh, yeah. Even though it sounds a little bit weird. Yeah.
The Vietnamese flag, and remember, in Vietnam we have two flags. Okay, one for the Communist Party, and one for the country. So the Communist Party flag is a little bit different. It has a hammer of some sort.
Yeah.
Communist flag.
A hammer and kind of a special tool to harvest the crop.
Huh? They call it I think call it a pickaxe, but I might be wrong. Pickaxe là cái cuốc.
Pickaxe. I don't think so.
right?
No, it's not that one. I don't think so.
I think
Cái
it's this
lưỡi
one.
liềm hả? Cái kia là lưỡi liềm hả?
It's the two.
A hammer and a lưỡi liềm ấy. So the tool to harvest.
The red star represent the Communist Party in position with the hammer and the sickle. Ah, sickle.
Oh,
Sickle. Okay.
now makes sense. Sickle.
A sickle.
Oh, nice word.
Yeah. So there are two weapons, okay? Or not
Yes.
weapons, or like working tools
Tool.
combined into one picture, not one tool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our topic today is gonna be about busyness.
Business.
Staying busy.
Like-
What's
Your favorite topic.
interesting
And Chris too.
Okay.
Chris' favorite
Like-
topic.
So, out of the two of you, who is busier?
Okay.
I think three gonna be busier.
Tell me
because
about
we
your
have to sleep
schedule
late.
to see who is
We
busier.
have to go to sleep quite early. So it's mean like he's quite busy.
Earlier than you, but not early in
Much
general.
earlier. I'm quite free in the morning.
That's the nature of a teacher.
If maybe
If you don't have morning classes,
yes,
right? Good.
you're right. You're right.
So let's start with Minho first, right? Change it up a bit. So tell me a little bit
Okay.
about your schedule, your daily routine, your work schedule, to see how
Okay.
busy you are. Try to emphasize on how busy you are. Okay.
Okay, so what part is it? 1, 2, or 3?
It's a simple question.
Simple question, and it's just because I want to know like how long should I?
You're not allowed to. You need to keep it short. Not add any irrelevant or unnecessary details to it.
Damn, it's such a high requirement. Okay, so I'm gonna start now.
Okay, yeah, it's
so
it's more of a
normally
part 3 question, so don't drag it
It's,
too
my
long.
typical day starts from 6 or 7 a.m. So normally I start my day with opening my mobile phone and then watching some YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I prepare some
Any videos in particular?
material. Not really. I must say, like any entertaining videos that I find is gonna be entertaining.
Whatever video that's recommended
Whatever
on
it is. Whatever videos or
that pops up, right?
shit. Whatever. I want to say that whatever recommended videos by
No,
YouTube.
whatever video that is recommended.
That is, I need that word. Whatever videos that are, whatever videos that are
that are
recommended
recommended.
by
Yeah.
YouTube, that I'm gonna watch it just for entertaining purposes. And then maybe like I'm gonna spend like 1 or 2 hours on watching videos.
Entertainment purposes, not entertaining purposes. Okay.
You're right.
Do you know why?
You asking me why?
Yeah.
Okay, because like entertaining purposes is like the purpose to entertain the other.
No,
Entertainment
it's more
purposes.
like if you say entertaining purposes, it's more like you are describing the purpose. The actual purpose is entertaining, but if you say entertainment purposes, then the purposes is for entertainment. You know?
Yes, right. You're right in this point. So entertainment purposes. So as I was saying, after I spend like 1 or 2 hours on watching these kinds of videos, I'm gonna spend some time to prepare for the teaching material for that day, including like prepare for the presentations.
Like preparing for the people often make this mistake quite regularly when they use when they try to list some of the activities that they do after right after always remember it has to be a ing verb.
Journey, right? You're right. So including preparing for some kind of teaching materials, and then I think it will be around 9 or 10 a.m. that I start to like if I have to class
Try
something,
not to list
will have
every
to class
activities that you do, okay? Your job is to
yeah.
emphasize on which activities to show that you're a busy person. So be
Yeah.
selective.
So it's mean like more in the morning. Most of the time I spend time for my recreational purpose. Or
Does that show that you're busy? Does that
again,
activity show that you're busy?
no, I don't think so because I'm not a busy person.
Oh,
As I
okay.
would say,
I
yeah.
thought you were trying
So
to show that you're busier than she, but okay.
no, I'm not busier than Tree. Yeah, he's much busier in fact. So and then in the afternoon and evening, I will have some classes. Normally it's gonna range from like 2 p.m. To maybe like
Mm.
9, 10 p.m. So
Before you go on, okay, I just like to note that your answers from the beginning to end needs to be very consistent. Okay, so
mm,
like before you were saying that you were a very busy person, so as a result you didn't really have time to play any sports, right? But now what you're giving me is like a sort of a laid back lifestyle with a lot of time to watch entertainment videos and things like
mm,
that. Okay,
mm,
so it contradicts the two. So you gotta
mm,
be very careful with the consistency in the information that
mm.
you give. Otherwise, it may seem like a learned answer. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. Right. So I think like I'm not that busy, you know. So maybe three.
Sure. Okay.
The thing that the one thing that I believe that it would prevent me from doing some sport is because it just I make some excuse. Yeah, I think like having a partner that will go with you, and
Mm.
you and that partner will have
Right.
to spend some time to play sport. With that kind of thing,
Incentivizes you to go, right?
yes, that motivate or incentivize you. That can be considered as like having a partner can be considered as an insensitive
No,
to
an incentive, not insensitive.
incentive, right? Incentive. So can be considered as an incentive to play sport. And in my case, I don't
Mm.
have one,
You don't
so
have.
I
Mm. And
continually
here you
I
said
continually
yesterday that
is
you were having such a good relationship with your neighbors, but now you're
again.
complaining that you don't have anyone to go and play sport with you,
Yes,
right?
like the having a good relationship with your neighbor, it doesn't mean that you have a good partner to go play football with. But how does it make sense? It doesn't make sense, you know. Like at least your neighbor should have the interest in football, but they don't. In my
Okay,
case,
okay.
uh,
Well,
so you,
they,
you
they
wrap
don't.
my
Okay,
decision.
great. So let's talk about Chi's schedule then, to see how busy
Oh
you
my
are.
god, I'm snowed under with work currently. I have around like 7 classes and I'm definitely a teacher of these classes.
Well,
So
obviously.
like yeah, and 7 classes with around uh 25 students in total, right? And you
Mm.
can see how busy I am. Apart from teaching, right? I still
25 students doesn't seem to be that many.
Yeah, but it's 10, but those students are divided into 8 classes,
Ah,
right?
okay, okay.
Yeah, so probably like every day, I have around 4 to 5 classes, and
Mm.
it could be
Maybe
around
maybe you could describe the nature of your classes. Like, is it like a one-on-one class, or
yeah,
is
one on
instead of
one. Yeah,
a
most of them
mm,
are just one on one classes.
uh-huh.
So it takes me around like 8 hours of teaching every day, right?
Mm,
Yeah,
right?
apart from that, not just only teaching. So we need to prepare what you
Lesson
want.
plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, what to like educate and what to give the knowledge to
Mm,
their students, and that is lesson plans, right?
right.
But apart from that, I also have to focus on my physical health. So I have to carve out time
Yeah.
you know, practicing gym, you doing
Hitting the
some
gym pretty
workout.
much every day, right?
Yeah, every day around 2 hours in the gym center.
Mm,
Um, yeah, those things take me a lot of time.
mm.
Nearly, a day, I can say. Yes.
Right. Since the nature of our job requires to sit a lot, it's recommended that we should try to have some sort of sport activities
Yeah.
to be more active, burn some
To be more
calories,
active.
right?
Yeah,
Avoid
that's right.
putting
To
on weight.
revitalize myself.
Okay. Yeah, so Chi seems to be obviously the one busier. Now you can also stress or emphasize on that busyness a little bit more, okay, by saying that, well, actually, some of my students are very low level, so in class I need to do all the talking instead, right?
Oh
So it
yeah,
takes a lot
of energy.
of my energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hugh. The verb you used in the last sentence, I didn't catch it well.
Do all the talking.
Do all the talking. Yeah.
Do all the
Do
talk.
all the talking.
Oh,
Yeah. So
do,
because of the lower level of my students, I need to do
Do
on all the talking. Okay.
all the talking.
do
Yeah.
Which,
all,
which
Talking,
takes
I think.
a lot of
Do all the talking.
do all.
the talking, sir.
Talking.
The talk. Talking as a noun, basically. Do the
Oh,
talking.
oh.
Uh,
Is it like do all the talk?
no, do all the talking. A talk is different from a talking. The talking
Oh,
is the action of talking. A talk is an event where you would go to give a speech, a talk,
yes, that's
to a
right.
wide range of audience and stuff like that. That's a little bit different.
Okay.
Do some talking. Yeah, it just means the action of it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what do you feel are the advantages of being busy, keeping yourself busy?
Probably you can make a lot of money, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
the obvious
when
one.
yes, because when you have a lot of work to do, you have a lot of jobs. So those jobs can like generate a lot of money for you. So you can
Mm,
have a really big salary. When it comes to the ends of a month.
the end of the
Yeah, end of the
end of the
end
month, end of the month.
yeah end of the month. Yeah, month. Yeah, but the downside. Oh, you just ask about the advantage, right?
Yeah, you can tell me about the downside of it as well.
Okay, but apart from that advantage, I feel like
Mm,
there is a really like primary advantage of it
mm,
because I can improve my communication skills a lot.
okay. How?
Yeah, because I am a teacher, right?
Right? Yeah.
So the more I teach, the more I talk to my students. So
Mm-hmm.
my skills of communicating of
Mm,
other people can become far better.
right. Not
Yeah,
maybe not just communications, like the ability to explain a
yeah,
certain
explain things.
grammatical
Yeah,
problem
yeah,
or
and
pronunciation feature and stuff like that, right?
yeah, no, I mean communication. That I mean like the way that you can communicate with other people, not
Mm,
not just like something professionally. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, but so
Yeah.
now I feel like when it comes to meeting strangers or being on a stage with a large audience, I can be so confident
yeah.
in communicating in that way.
Mm.
Hmm?
Yeah, speaking in public is actually one of the very valuable skills or important
That's
skills
right.
that
Yeah,
most of us should have. I mean, create
yeah.
as soon as you
Do
can
marketing for
get
yourself.
rid of the sort of the fear of being
Yeah.
mocked or judged,
Mm.
then you'll do very well as a teacher.
Yeah.
What about you, Min Ho? Any advantages of keeping yourself busy?
Besides the advantages of improving your communicating skills and
Communication
the
skill, not
communication skills and
Mm.
making a huge amount of money, then I think I think that's the two main advantages
Yeah.
that one can think of
Those
as
are
a
two
teacher.
main, okay? Not that
Those
is
are
two.
two main advantages that one can think of to be when they become a teacher.
Mm.
Um, However, besides that, I think you can also, when you are busier, it will stop you from using your time recklessly.
Recklessly?
What do I, yeah, recklessly. So what do I mean by
Maybe like
that? Is that
wastefully.
if you, again, yes,
I was gonna say wastefully, but
yeah,
anyway, just
when
keep going.
yeah, so as I was saying, like
Yeah.
by keeping yourself busy, you know that you don't have that much of time to spend your time wastefully
Uh-huh.
on many things like YouTube videos or
Watching YouTube videos. Okay.
YouTube
yeah,
videos.
YouTube
Watch.
videos
Mm.
or like surfing on scrolling on the Facebook. Yeah, so
No, you
Scrolling,
don't scroll Facebook, okay?
you don't
You
you
scroll
don't
the
scrolling
feeds, the
through.
news feeds on Facebook.
scrolling,
That's what
yeah,
you
scrolling
scroll.
the new feed, yeah,
Hmm.
scrolling new feeds.
Mm.
So that so before I became kind of occupied, so I used to spend most of my time like in the morning, like watching the YouTube videos because I knew that at that time I didn't have that much classes to prepare for.
Mm.
Because of that, I felt resentful for myself every time I watch those kinds of contents. But now when I become a little bit busier, I when I think of using my time for watching those kind of entertaining content, I would put on the scale of those, like whether I should spend my time watching those entertainment videos, or I should spend this time
It's too
to
complicated.
prepare for my next classes.
Yeah. Here's my
Um,
advice.
but ultimately, it should be like because I need to be responsible for my job. So I would uh, come up no end up with, yeah, I should end up with
It's too long. Again, you keep going on and on about the same problem. But what you should do is to keep it short and give me. Instead of saying, I need to think twice between, working and or watching some videos. It's too long. You don't need to separate those two like that. You can just say, before I do any activities, I need to consider or think twice. Yeah,
okay.
before doing it, and that's it, right? Don't take it to expand your answers too long. It's unnecessary. Get to the point right away, and once the points are out, then end your answer. Otherwise, you're gonna just repeat yourself. We'll go back to the original point again, which
Yeah,
are very unnecessary. Okay?
repetitive.
Yeah. So to sum up your ideas, I feel like besides the career benefit, so to speak, then you could like avoid wasting a lot of time on meaningless tasks like watching a bunch of TikTok videos. That's for sure. Okay, good. Okay, now let's move to a bit to children. Okay, do you feel like children should learn through playing games, or they should be given more pressure to improve themselves?
I tend to lean towards playing games rather than putting them under pressure.
Sure.
Sure, pressure. Yeah, the reason is that there is from my perspective, from my knowledge, there is an emotional filter inside of our brain that when you can have positive feelings, you can easily absorb knowledge.
Okay,
And
that's
and when you
interesting.
play so when you play games, right, you feel so excited, you feel interested in the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can be so open to about learning things from the game, right? You can learn about the strategies, how to win the game, right? Or
Learn how to
some
about work with others. Yeah, teamwork
yeah, work with
skills.
others, yeah. And those things, like games, in that sense, can teach them a lot.
What
Right.
about pressure? Is there any benefit from
As I
game?
mentioned, like, when you put them into, some kinds of pressure, it's kind of like they will feel, they're more likely to feel anxious, worried. They didn't know that they can perform it well or something like that, right? So their emotional filter,
They
or
what?
emotional filter in the brain, as I mentioned before.
Filter?
Yeah, emotional filter, cái màng
A
lọc emotional filter.
filter. Okay, okay.
A filter, oh my god, it's my bad.
It sounded like
So,
future.
yeah, the emotional filter in the brain will close, will close, because at that time they are a little bit negative, because they are anxious and worried, because they are
Right.
under pressure,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So by that way, so I mean, in being under pressures will deter them from, absorbing knowledge, from taking knowledge.
Okay. So to sum up, it's basically like whenever you feel too much or too worried about certain things, yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to take in more information
yeah,
or
taking more knowledge, as
or to
mentioned.
learn more. Okay.
Filter, pressure, pressure.
Okay. What about you, Minho? Do you think that pressure can be good sometimes?
Yes, of course, definitely. Why not, right? So many things to say at one time. So why I have such a strong feeling about this, because I believe that
Mm.
teenagers, they themselves don't have
Children, okay, not
uh,
teenagers.
Filter.
to children. So children, they themselves don't have that good of discipline to control what they do.
Okay.
So most of the time they would prefer to do something more entertaining, such as playing video games or chit chatting with their friends online. So, and because of that, when if we don't put any pressure on them, then it's really hard to ask them to do whatever they should do or supposed to do. For example, studying, because as you know, like studying is not something that easy to do.
Mm.
Sometimes it's really hard, and it's to some extent it's quite challenging for some students. So, for example, I'm teaching a student whose name is Hua.
I-
So basically, he's
Irrelevant.
addicted to video games.
Okay.
The reason why he couldn't stop playing games is because his parents failed to prevent him from the very first stage. Um, so they just let him playing games as much as he want, and it's turned out that
They
right
prevent
now,
him for the first stage,
yeah, I
and
mean
and
like
then they let him play the game. I don't understand. They
I mean
prevent
like
him,
they
or did they
didn't
let
let
him?
him play, like they failed to, you mean, and they
Uh,
failed to, yeah, they failed to prevent him prevent him from playing games at the very first stage. They
what
just let him
stage?
play, like when he played games, because like
First
um
stage? What stage?
oh, okay,
You
so
mean like at a very young age, right? Not first
yeah,
stage.
from a very young age. So
What happened to him?
that's one thing.
Uh oh.
He's so addicted to video games, and
Mm.
he didn't care. Like he doesn't care about studying anymore.
Right. Yeah. So in this, I want to see phrases like academic results, okay, or
All right.
performance or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the last semester he had
Had.
poor academic
Had.
performance. He had, yeah,
Yeah. You,
he
you
had
keep saying
a
had.
poor academic performance.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, he had. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So that could be the structure that you could give. Okay. So you could say that. So I do have this particular student, right? He's very addicted to playing video games. I think the problem was because his parents didn't really prevent him, right?
Yeah.
from doing
Very young
so
age.
from a very young age. So now I feel like now he's a teenager, so it's kind of late to punish him for
Yeah.
those activities. Okay, good. So that's pressure. Now let's.
Okay. So, sorry guys. Can I say a little bit because like I think like I also want to have to practice the reflex for the for the questions. I mean like
What do you mean?
yeah, can we have like someday three star answer first and then I star later, and then someday I star first and then three star later, so that I can have some a sense have some sense of like facing
Right, you don't have the
the
time to
question.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, without thinking, because like
Actually, I think it's
when I
better
think,
if
I think a
you.
lot, and
I,
because of that,
I think it's better
yeah.
if you always answer the question first. Put you on
Wow.
the spot.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Yeah,
whatever.
I will give it a try.
You
Do
can
my
take
best.
the first turn, and I will take the second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And
It's
because
just
I'm
because like
trying to change it up the question a bit, so I
yeah.
won't be asking you guys the same question again to keep your answer natural and avoid you having
Yeah,
sort of
because like sometimes like I
preparation,
when
advanced
she said
preparation.
wait what can I say? she's she's so good at giving a sufficient and well
Being
developed answer.
spontaneous. Yeah, giving an answer right away. Anyway, so that's the kind of pressure for children, right? Now we move on to pressure that adults may have. Okay,
Oh,
so Minho, what kind of pressure do people often have at work?
Wow, I think there's a host of pressures that, that they have to face at working space. Now, one of which I can think of right now is the pressure from their college. So most of the time, when you work in an environment in which the people around you are superior to you, then you will feel
Than you,
stressful. Then you, yeah,
no,
then
or
you
superior
will
to you. No,
really?
yes, not Dan, not use Dan. Superior to someone.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Superior to you, yeah, superior to you, then you will have a sense of stress. Okay, so when just like me as an just like me when I work in an English center in which where there are so many decent teachers who has a long time for practicing this industry. So most of the time when I'm in a meeting with them, I kind of stressed and couldn't speak a word. And because of that, then I think I my didn't perform my best.
You didn't perform your best, right? So because what kind of pressure did you have? Is that even
Um,
pressure?
it's like the pressure of your college because they're superior to you. Uh,
Right.
yeah,
So isn't that some sort of motivation for you to become better instead of
yeah,
pressure?
but maybe some can consider that a motivation,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, like when working with so many, no, so when I work with so many
People who are better
uh
than you. Right?
how to say how to put it in that way, like amazing people, like
No, just say people who
sometimes
are better than you. That's it.
yeah,
Keep it
much
simple.
better than you. Sometimes you will have a sense that you are much smaller than them, or yeah, in another way, you will feel yourself, you will feel uncomfortable when talking with them, knowing that they are much better than you
Uh,
in terms of knowledge and
okay.
skills.
Yeah, that's one of the things I often face when talking about the stock market or financial information. Is that
Mm.
whenever you speak with someone who is an
More now.
expert on something, basically,
Yes,
then you have to watch every word you say to make sure that you don't say the wrong thing. Yeah,
that's
that
right.
can happen. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. So, what are you three? Let's start with you first. What kind of pressure do you have at work?
oh, the pressure. Me myself or
Yeah,
to adult
so
people?
you.
Okay, the pressure that I have at work. Um, wow, the pressure that I have, like, honestly, it is not happen, during the working hours, but it's kind of like, my
It's not
workload.
happened. Huh?
Yes.
You mean like
Not
it hasn't
only-
happened, or it doesn't happen, or
Oh yeah,
what
nhưng mà
kind of
happen
tense? TZ, what kind of tense are you using?
and it's not happen. Happen là tính từ phải không?
What happen is a verb.
Okay, my bad. Okay, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Okay.
It doesn't happen during working hours. But it happens. But before of my workload is really heavy, so I
Uh-huh.
feel like there are some days that I feel really overwhelmed at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. Okay. What kind of
Yes. Um,
pressure exactly? What tasks or assignments or
like
something?
probably when I have okay, like probably when I have to teach other people,
Uh-huh.
it is that when I teach other people, it's like I have to give them a lot of energy
Uh-huh.
and motivation
Right.
to help my students to better themselves
Mm.
at the subjects that I teach, which is English.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
and the more I give motivation, and the more I try to push my students forward. Right?
Mm.
So that's why I lose my energy.
The more energy it drains from
Yeah,
you.
the more energies that I can lose or that can be drained from me. Yeah, that can be so. At the end of a day with a lot of classes like that, right? I feel, so exhausted physically and mentally, and that's kind
Now
of
there is a good example that you can
pressure.
give, and has happened to me before, is that many of the students in class are in that class not because they really enjoy learning English, but it's because they are forced to be in that class because of their parents, right? So they initially don't already have the motivation to
Nhưng mà chứ
study
không có
it.
cái đó, chứ không có cái đó.
Really?
Chứ là bởi vì do mọi người học đều enjoy hết. Chỉ là do là mình không có, đôi khi mình phải dạy nhiều quá thì mình bị
Không, đấy là initially, từ đầu vào không phải ai cũng vậy. Về sau ví dụ mình có thể inspire họ thì họ mới như vậy. Nhưng mới đầu vào có thể some of them are forced to be here, right? And then it's really my job to motivate them,
to inspire them.
and keep an engaging class, so to speak.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
so that can be hard and
yeah. Because
energy draining.
yeah, and because just when you are excited about teaching, when you give, good energy, positive to the class,
Okay.
and that's the way that your students can be easily engaged and you can hold their attention really effectively.
Okay,
And
so that's the kind of pressure that you may have at work. What about a typical person in other industry?
In what?
In other industry,
In the other industry.
profession.
Profession. Let me
No
see.
expression.
Probably, financial pressure is one of the most common pressures that people, adult workers have, right?
But not at work. That's not a work pressure. That's more like
Yeah,
It's about another industry.
it's more like a life pressure. That's
no, financial pressure is like KPI, right?
KPI is not really a financial pressure. Financial
Yeah.
pressure is more like you
Like-
have to take care of your family, stuff like that. If I understand it correctly.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
more like a KPI is more like a work pressure. It's more like a requirement that you need to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do.
Okay. Like, vậy thì nói như thế nào? Vậy nếu mà nói về KPI thì cái từ nào mình nên dùng nhỉ?
Quotas, I think. You know,
A quota that they have to meet every month, right? Nhưng mà những quota,
Really?
yeah, especially when you work in sales, okay? And
Yeah, đúng rồi,
I've seen this before, especially
cái
working.
quotas này á, nó theo mình nhớ là nó có một cái cách dùng khác nha. Là quotas này ví dụ là một công ty mà nó xuất khẩu ra bên nước ngoài ấy, thì cái quotas này là nó ví dụ là công ty này chỉ được xuất khẩu nhiêu đó thôi, thì đó là quotas đó.
không, nó có nhiều nghĩa chứ cho rồi, mọi người lên xem này.
Còn quotas này là gì ta?
Cái quota mà như
Or you can just say a minimum.
không, đúng nó cũng là cái quota, nhưng mà nghĩa thứ hai nó là cái amount mà something expects a need to have to achieve kìa, a quota of work kìa.
Yeah.
Đó. Mình dùng là financial quota được không nhỉ?
It's kind of general. I don't want to add the word financial quotas.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's kind of like a quota that you have to meet every month, right?
Like what? For
Like
example, what kind of job?
for example, like like sellers, right?
Working sales, okay?
Yeah, sellers of a company, they have to sell a certain number of the company's products to meet the quota that they expect you. Otherwise, you just receive or
Receive.
yeah, receive. Oh, sorry, that's right. Receive a very high amount of salary every month,
Oh.
right? And that is like a
I
very
think there should be a better explanation when you work in a sales team. So basically, you don't have a fixed salary, right? And the income that you make is entirely or mostly dependent on the amount of products that you manage to sell within that month. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's high risk, high reward, basically, and that can give people a lot of pressure. I've seen firsthand some of the sales team members in my
I assume firsthand là gì?
cái gì?
I assume firsthand là gì?
Trải nghiệm
Trực mắt chứng kiến
bằng chứng
directly.
Dạ.
Hay nhờ. I've seen firsthand. Okay.
Directly. I've seen with my own eyes, basically, with my own eyes. Tức là không phải nghe qua một ai đó, tận mắt chứng kiến. Đó. So I seen firsthand some of the sales team or team members in an English center, right? And every month they're required to sell at least 60 to 70 million Vietnam dong worth of tuition fees, okay, for the company. Otherwise, after 2 consecutive months without failing the quotas, they're gonna be fired immediately.
Otherwise, they can be fired, right?
They're gonna
be fired, or they're gonna be put out of work. Được đúng không?
put off, yeah.
Put out of work.
Put out, put off
Nó
working.
nó cũng là put out of work, đúng không ta?
Put out thì không off nhưng một trong hai. Put off, I would just say be fired, be kicked out.
Đúng rồi, be put out of work này, cause somebody to lose his job này. Okay, I think it's good.
Okay, do you want to risk it?
Okay, yeah, I'm getting it. You can be put out of work. Okay. Receive, not receive. Receive.
Okay, anyway, that's in the sales industry. Now, what kind of, in other professions, for example, can you think of other examples that people may face even higher level of pressure? Higher degree of pressure, I should say.
Higher degree of pressure rather than a seller, maybe a doctor or surgery.
I have an answer. Do you want me to take the turn, Mr. Here, Mr. Minh Hồ?
I think like one day we like I start first, and then one day 3 start first. Like it's less stressful to think who gonna start first.
Okay, yeah. So about me, I feel like there are some major problems that can be happened during the
That can be happen. That can happen.
Okay, that can happen during the workplace, during the working hours. Like if they're
at work, it's easier to say at work.
Yeah, at work, right? So if their boss, their managers are very toxic, and they always yell at you, right? They want you to do more and more, and they don't give any compliments on you, right?
Not giving compliments it provides a toxic environment.
No, I mean like they can yell at you, like right? They can yell at you, and they want.
So how is that a toxic environment?
It's kind of like because when they yell at you, they speak ill of you, right? So it's kind of like
insulting you.
Place with a lot of toxic people can create a toxic environment.
Okay, so I think we need to define what is a toxic environment or workplace, right?
I mean, a toxic place from a perspective is the one that includes that includes so many toxic people.
What people are toxic? What kind of people?
They like to
Can...
gossip about them, about other when they are not there.
Okay.
Okay, and sometimes they just give or exude or they just give negative into the environment, and
Negative.
that's so toxic.
What kind of things that are negative?
I mean, they like to talk bad about other
So it
people.
goes back to the original example.
Other people. Okay, like when I worked in my old center, right? Yeah. When I got good compliments from my students,
Right.
um, in a sense, they could think that I was really I made a lot of effort to do it, to have it, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they thought that I I
You did what?
tôi dụ họ để đạt được đó.
Okay. You're trying to
I
flirt.
lured them.
Alert. Dỗ
Yeah.
là như thế nào? Như kiểu flirt rồi. Tán tỉnh à?
Không khó nhờ, cái đó là một cái ví dụ đang bịa đấy. Thôi bây giờ mới tiêu được cái
Bullshit.
example khó thiệt. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can give you a better
another example. I can give another example. It was like when I worked in my old company, right?
Okay.
I was, I worked very hard. I sometimes burned the midnight oil to meet the deadline. Or I mean, at that time I was really overwhelmed. I was very busy because of the workload at the center. But my boss didn't see it. He saw. He always yelled at me that I was not good enough. He was really negative and just spoke ill of me. So I was really down, not because of the workload, but because of his words. And that drained me. That drained a lot of my energy.
Drained. Okay.
Drained.
The computer doesn't recognize when you say the word drain.
Drained.
Recognize or registered as train.
Cái ví dụ này ok hơn đúng không?
Yeah. A better example would be, I think, or another example would be an unhealthy competition at work. Okay. So Minho, what about you?
Receive.
Maybe other pressure in other professions besides teaching, besides,
Oh, so I think like every job has their own pressure. So if you want to ask, like, is there any pressure that is much have
like unhealthy kind of
degree?
pressure, maybe?
I'm sorry.
Like an unhealthy kind of pressure.
Unhealthy kind of pressure. So, well, I think like the thing that pop up in my mind right now is that the competition between sellers. Can it count?
Sellers. Okay.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't call the people who work in the sales team sellers. I think it's better. A more accurate phrase would be like salespeople. Okay, people.
Salespeople. Yes, salespeople can be can work. Okay.
Seller is a bit. I don't know.
Salespeople. Can you check the sellers? I'm not sure.
Seller. It doesn't feel like people who, more like somebody who's selling something, but not like part of a sales team of a company. If that makes sense.
Seller like this. Seller.
No. Seller like this.
No, we don't have it. Sell people. Wow. Sales people.
It just means somebody who sells something, right?
Seller. Oh,
so I feel like it's not
sellers
specific.
of paper. Like the strict sellers of paper. Someone who sells paper, newspaper.
Newspaper. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a lot? Does that job involve a lot of pressure?
Oh, I do think so. Yeah, because like the fact that you can sell something, you can sell your products to the prospects. It means that the other may lose some chance to sell the same product to the same customers. Let me say, let's take in a real estate industry as an example for this. So, for example, so in the real estate industry, that you and your colleague will share the same pool of customers. And when you and your customer, or you and your coworkers also approach that same pool of customers. So you make a cold call to that customers. Your coworker can do the same thing.
Right.
You have a certain product. Your coworker can also provide the same product to those kind of customers, and because of that, I think like some people will choose to have some unhealthy competition by giving discount or like lower the price by lower the income they will receive. Like I mean, they set aside some
Commission.
part, yes, set a part
Wow.
of your commission of their commission for the customers, and because of that, I would consider as an unhealthy competition because it doesn't increase or improve the quality or anything related to the sell.
But is that really unhealthy competition? I feel
I
like
totally believe so because like why
they're willing to lose the amount of money that
like
they
when
receive.
you lose like first what does it mean when we say the unhealthy competition? It means that it
Competition.
it's not good for everyone. So, for example, when you lower your income, or when you set aside your commission for
Rate, yeah.
your customers, it means like you are lower your income, and as
So
a matter of
he's willing to do that, then I don't see how that's unhealthy.
here, because like first, you lower your income, it means like you feel
But
worse.
it only hurts him, right? Not you. So it's not hurting you in any way.
Yeah, you losing money actually. Do you feel happy when you lose money for the customers?
No, but I'm saying that it's not unhealthy competition because I'm not hurting you as a co-worker, right?
Yes, you do. If you know that your coworkers, because they want to take the customer from you, they lower the price by setting aside, like by doing something like that, setting aside amount of money they receive from the deal, so that they can get the customer from you.
But you
Like
can
and
also
you,
lower yours. So I don't see how.
yeah. So like the lower, like you lower your price, I lower your price, then I lower your price, and then who win? The customer wins, not them. So that's it. That's, I think, not a
Is that a
good
good thing?
competition, because those competitors just kill themselves and let the other win, not them, not let them win. So at the end of the day, two competitors lose money, not the prospects.
Uh,
Yeah, and
Isn't
the
that a
other,
good thing? I feel like if the customers receive a good price on a product, then that may be a good thing. But
so let's see how do the prospects think? Like how do you think, like you how do you feel when you receive money that's from the seller? You think that the what, like it's mean like the money, like you are this is just my money, or you can think like the service they provide, like instead of thinking what service they are providing me,
right.
now you just think about the money that you receive, the money that you can save. So first, you don't respect the service that the seller provide to you. Second, like the money
I
you
see what you
receive,
mean.
isn't it, when you receive the money from seller, what do you think, like they just a
Right.
cheap
Okay. So
seller?
basically, I think what you're trying to say is that instead of competing to bring a higher quality of service to the customer, you're now
Mhm.
competing in lowering the commission rate, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
the customer doesn't really benefit in terms of receiving such a high quality service, but I feel like he can still pay less for the land or property that he buys. So it's not that bad.
Here's the point, bro. As a seller, if you think that you are selling product by selling the based on the cost, based on the cost, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's mean like this is the cost, this is your revenue, and then you selling by just sell then high just sell the with the price that which is higher than your cost. It means you are not providing a decent service that the customer are willing to pay for it.
But
So
okay, so what about you, Chi? I need your take on this. Okay, as
okay.
a customer, who
Right.
is looking to buy a house, right?
Right.
What do you look for more from a salesperson
Okay.
besides paying a lower fee?
Mm.
Do you
Besides paying
do you
for,
care that much about the service that they bring, or do you just care about I can pay less amount of money to buy
so
this
you
particular
you want
property?
me to be in a perspective of a customer of a
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
seller, a customer.
Customer, yeah,
Can I add something information, like just small
yeah,
information?
yeah.
I just like I want to make sure I want to distinguish the situation. Like there are many groups of customers, and because
Yeah.
like there are many groups of products, so there are many groups of customers. What I'm talking about is about the high ticket price service, high ticket price industry, in which the customer are like willing to pay like 2 or 10 billion for a property. It's not about like buying or selling some convenient products. Okay, so
Okay, but I'm speaking from my point of view as a customer, right? And from G's point of view as a customer,
okay,
right? Sometimes we need to balance between whether we want to receive a higher level of service or a lower fee, right? So which
okay.
one? Let's
Okay,
Which one?
yeah.
Which
I
one do you
would go
which one do
for
you want?
I would go for the quality of the service
Ah,
rather
How
than,
much are you willing to spend more on
how
that?
much?
That's the
but
question.
because like as comparing between like the amount that you spend
Hmm.
on buying a house is far bigger than than the
The
extra,
money you pay for the
yeah, the
service.
extra payment that you can endure, that you can suffer, you can endure, yes, because
Uh-huh.
when you get good service, your feelings can be really positive and you can be satisfied when you get the house. um
Okay.
so the quality of the house is really and the quality of the house and the service that
It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the
salespeople,
house, right?
okay, so the sales, so the feelings that salespeople give you
Mm.
are more important
Okay.
than
So
just
the
like,
question brings, how much are you willing to spend? Let's say a property
okay,
is worth
so it
3 billion. Okay.
depends, like the case to case situation. Probably when you buy a house with around 3 billion
Okay. Are you
billion
willing to
dollars,
spend
yeah,
maybe like a
probably
hundred million?
500, 500 billion more,
Five
300,
hundred million for the sales
300. Oh no, even it's about the service, it's around under 100 million.
un, under 100 million.
Yes,
Right?
that's just the service, right?
No.
That's just the
Like
service. As
sellers can
compared
receive
to,
more money than that.
yeah, like 3 billion and 100 million is like a far lower than
That's
the
like
amount
three
that you
percent,
can pay
three
for the.
percent of the property.
If I
Yes.
say that they're gonna receive like 180 million, what do you think? Because
One
that is a
one
price.
hundred eighty is high for me.
Yeah,
For me,
but
is
we have to
you
have
need to
in
consider the job of the salesperson. Okay, they don't deal with the legal documents.
Yeah.
Right?
yes,
The only
just want to
thing,
sell.
yeah. So like, how is it that they is worth so much to pay
Yeah.
for?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Let's
because
talk about that.
those people will take you to the houses, will give you any information about the house, and also give you like like in the future the house can, the price of the house can grow up, the potential that the house can give you, probably they can generate
Uh,
more income than
no,
they.
I think that's something that you should do research on your own
Yeah, you can
because
do research, but that is
just the
also the
salespeople
useful
would never be
information that
honest
you.
about that.
Yeah, yeah, probably not honest, but it's also the useful information that you can get from the seller.
If it's not honest, then how is it useful
Yeah, yeah,
information?
but I mean, it's just kind of like the jobs of sell people can do.
That's what I'm saying. Is that if they don't give you honest information, how is it that they're worth
So the service
185
is not
million,
good.
right?
So the service is not good as compared to the good service. As you can see, right? The good service is the honesty that you can see from the sell people, right? Yeah, it's those things are the elements of good service.
Yeah. So I think it's easier to put it into numbers. Now, let's say the coworker of Minho, okay, he's willing to take 100 million in commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for Minho, he would take like 185, right? Or 200. Let's just say 200 to round
Okay.
it up, right?
But if I'm a
Are you
customer,
willing to pay more
if I'm a customer,
to buy
it depends
3
on
billion house, right?
the people that I like to work with. If the amount, the amount of like the extra amount is around 50 million, right? But the one that has a commission around 100 million, they are not really positive. They are negative. They give
No
their
salespeople are negative.
false information. Probably I will choose the one that can give me the honesty of them. Can ensure a far higher amount.
So if
Yeah,
you
because of
choose
that.
that way, I must say that G, you are very rich. Yeah, you are super rich. And myself, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
never gonna do that. It's
I mean,
100 million, right? I will
mean,
do my
that's
own
the
research.
scenario. I haven't bought the real estate. Property.
okay, so the point is that I believe that it's really depend on the value you perceive
Yes.
from the service that the seller
So
provides
that's
to
a
you.
good service. That's a good service.
When I talk about value, and not just talk about your feeling, I also talk about the monetary value. So what it means by that, like some seller, we must admit that some seller they have some confidential information, and because of that, they can provide that information to you, and in turn, and in exchange, that you can make lots of money thanks to that.
Like potential growth of the land, maybe. Like, or what do you mean?
Oh yes, of course. Like there's so many things. There's like it's not unusual when you see some land, thanks to the news, um, that the price of that land is double or triple in a short amount of time. Um, so what you're gonna do with that seller who give you the information that's gonna make you money?
Right.
You need to like reward that person more, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So value is something
But
that you need.
that then again, it's no guarantee that the land will go up in price.
If you wanted something very guaranteed, you put money into the bank. That's the thing that you can guarantee.
Right. So
that you're not gonna
it comes back to my original point. It's that it's all promises, right? Sometimes it's all about promises, and you can't really make sure that people are going to deliver in that promise, or the price
That's
will
right.
go up exactly in that value that you expect it to.
So I think like that's also
So
like
so I
when
agree
we
with
talk
you,
about
right?
that,
Is that it's worth paying more for a better service, but I don't what the part that I don't agree is that you would pay like in Cheese case, like 100 million more
for just something
for
like
just
similar to the other, like, just because like he's willing to give you a better service, then you're willing to pay him more. Okay.
Yeah.
I think like there's some elastic range, like but it's just like to some extent, not just like nearly double
Yeah,
100
that's a bit
180.
ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to say.
Yeah, it's like throwing your money out the window
Yeah.
for just
Okay,
When you have that, when you have like millions of,
for my good feeling.
no, 3
when
billion
you
is
have
just a
millions,
very typical price for I guess very small house, right? Not really a big house. 3 billion is
yeah, but
relatively small, so you need to be very thorough and conservative with your money instead of
But I mean, just the way we answer, they just examiners just text our speaking ability, not about our ideas, right?
Yeah, you're right.
but sometimes it
you
needs to
can
make
answer whatever
sense.
you like, right?
It can't be too ridiculous, so
Yeah.
otherwise it wouldn't work. You need to say things that make sense.
Yeah, things that I'm saying. So I think that in my case, it makes a lot of sense.
Because she has a lot of money, It's
Oh, yeah,
big
No, that's obvious.
to
7
brings a lot
classes,
of
or
money to
8
you.
classes. 8 classes. I only have 3 classes.
Yeah, I even have less.
Oh no, we don't compare. We don't compare because you have the same job. Ew. Okay.
Hey, next, moving on. Well, what should we do next?
Okay. So it's part 2 time now. Yeah.
Okay.
The part 2 question is about describe a time you were extremely busy. Okay. Now let's put Leo Minho on the spot.
Hey, wait, what? I don't have time for preparation, you know? Really?
You can have
Okay.
10 seconds to prepare.
10 seconds left. Okay. Oh, you always say.
Describe
Again,
a time,
the question is
describe
like
a time
you feel
when you were extremely busy.
busy, right?
Busy, yeah.
Right.
You can
Shit.
say what happened, okay? Maybe some incident at work, or
Okay.
busy somewhere else with your study when you were in school, right? So I think
Okay.
typically people are busy either with work or with studies, right?
Hey, G, so Hugh, sorry. How, G and Hugh also, yeah. How can we say like, um,
So what?
you have the lowest point, a level of energy. What is the best word, best expression for that?
You just have low
You
energy.
are demotivated.
You
You
don't have a lot of
are
energy.
lethargic.
And like it just you don't have the feeling of, and you can't feel any energy inside you anymore.
Then the easiest thing to say, and for me, this is what I would use in the test. I just don't have a lot of energy.
Yes.
Again,
What else
I
can
don't
you
want,
say? You don't have a lot of energy.
And today I don't have a
but
lot of
like I lose all of energy. I mean, like I just don't want to do anything like, because I'm so
renowned.
tired. I just
You
lay
feel
off.
drained. Yeah, drained is a good word.
Alright.
Yeah,
Renowned.
you're drained out.
Yeah, you drain
And
out, or
energyless. Okay,
or you waste your energy also.
Okay.
energyless. Okay, or powerless.
Hmm.
Energyless.
Uh,
But keep it
okay.
simple. You know, sometimes even words that are band 6 can still use.
Can what?
People at a band 6 level. Okay, in IELTS can still use those phrases. It doesn't have to be anything complicated or
Mm.
higher level. A very big misconception of the IELTS speaking or writing is that people think they need to use. They go on Google. They go on some of the dictionaries, right? Let's
Mm.
say Cambridge dictionary, okay? And then they tap out some of the words like ridiculous, right? Ridiculous, and they see this is B2, and they think that, oh, if I use this word, I can only get a 6.5.
I used to think that's the same way. I used to think the same way. I must admit that. Yeah.
Right, but it's extremely wrong because even a guy at a band 6 still use a bunch of words that are even an A2 or a B2, B1, whatever cases that may be, right?
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so Mino, are you ready for your story? Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, a time you were busy.
Okay. Yes. I will give it a try, but to yeah, must say
Give me your
frankly to
worst.
you, it's like shit. Alright. Couldn't organize the ideas in my mind, but I would give it a try.
That's the whole point, right? Is that you have to deal with the fact that you don't have too much time to prepare, right? And to
Yeah.
solely rely on the structure that we have used to tell the
Yes.
story.
Okay. I'll do my best, but please understand. Okay, so the question again, right? Okay, Hugh, can you ask me the question again so that it can give me some incentive
Okay.
to start?
Hugh, can you ask me the question again to give me some
Thank you very
incentive?
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, I just did.
What? What just happened?
I just repeated what you said. Okay.
What?
Describe a time when you were extremely busy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So back to the time when I was when I first started my career jobs as an English teacher.
Started my career jobs? Career or jobs?
Started working as an English teacher.
Okay. Started
Can I
my
say that?
career. Don't say jobs and career at the same.
Oh, right.
It's not.
Makes sense. So back to the time when I first started my job as an English teacher.
Okay.
At that time, everything was new to me completely.
Yeah.
I couldn't arrange my schedule, and I mean, I knew next to nothing about teaching, and the skills that made me struggle the most is arranging your schedule.
Your
Um, Most of the time, I felt stressed because I couldn't know what to do next, and this feeling kept continue this way to the point where I felt completely um, demotivated because I couldn't. I had a doubt on myself whether I have a knack for teaching or not. Later, then one
neck.
college introduced me to a wonderful application named Google Calendar, and since that time,
Calendar.
Google Calendar, and since that time, I have used it quite a lot.
Okay.
Until now, my work become more organized. I could
Nice.
organized. I could know exactly what I need to do next. I could see the whole picture of my working time, which is inconceivable to me. Back to the time when I first started my career.
Now, a better story would be to describe to me how much you were busy at that time, and the only thing that you said was, I couldn't arrange my schedule, and that's
I
it.
could,
And then you go on having an application to help you with that.
right, you're right. Okay, so I need to put more effort on describing that situation.
Right? Because
So
that is the topic.
at that time, yeah, so to the point where I had completely felt demotivated about teaching. I
Feel
remember.
demotivated? What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry.
I completely feel demotivated?
Yeah, I felt completely demotivated.
Huh?
I, I felt completely uh,
Failed and demotivated?
failed, failed, failed. I failed.
Felt. Okay,
F-E-L-T.
okay.
Felt.
Felt.
Yeah, I felt completely demotivated because I had a doubt about myself whether I have a knack for teaching. So I remember one day
Neck. Okay, not neck.
I have a knack, right?
It's different from a
I,
neck.
I have a knack, right? I have a knack for English. I
For
remember there
teaching,
was,
not for English.
yeah, there was one day that I was stressed because at that time then I was about to have a class in the evening. It
Okay.
was about 5 p.m.
Okay.
At that time, I was supposed to have a class at 6 p.m. But because I didn't organize or I hadn't organized my schedule well, so I didn't know that I would have a class at 6 p.m.
Uh-huh.
That's why I didn't have a decent preparation for the class, and it turned out
Preparation. Okay.
preparation for the
Not
class,
prepare.
and it turned
Prepare.
out to be a disaster
What
because
happened?
students didn't understand what I was saying because lack of materials,
Lack
um,
of.
lack lack of the
The lack
material.
of them.
Also, I didn't mentally prepared for the class.
Mentally
It mean,
prepared?
yeah,
Like
I
what?
did. It mean like I wasn't sure what I gonna teach them at that time.
Okay, so it's not about mentality here. Mentality is about your feeling, your
You
mind,
just feel prepared.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
right.
nothing to do
So
with men. Why would you add that
yeah.
word here?
So
Doesn't have
I
anything to do
because
with
lack of preparation. So I didn't
Preparation.
preparation,
preparation.
preparation,
Preparation.
preparation. That I couldn't manage the time well. It and the, so long story short, I was condemned severely because of
Condemned.
that day
Condemned?
by my boss.
Meaning
Uh,
punished? Condemned is a bit serious.
yeah, condemned because like
Condemned
like
kiểu đây đó à đi
fine.
đâu.
Yeah, yeah. So um, all in all, I guess I had so and later, like one college introduced me the Google Calendar, and the the rest of the story.
Right. Okay. Now, I think a better way for you to sort of explain how busy you were, to add on how many classes did you have at that time, okay?
Okay.
And how many times were you late for those classes, okay? And you couldn't really record any of these classes or student's name or
Mm,
things like that, right? I think when I first started, I couldn't really remember the student's name, right? And
mm,
it created a sort of a disconnect in class a little bit, right? So that could be one of the problems that you may face at first being a teacher, okay? And
mm,
you could tell that that could be one of the result of being too busy with too many classes, okay?
mm,
So, like
mm,
for my story, I would just say, well, at first, when I first started out, I didn't have a lot of experience, right? Obviously, so I only wanted to teach one class, okay? But the thing was that my center was very packed or very busy with lots and lots of classes. So they assigned me 5 classes, right? And at that point, I knew that I was handed a big challenge, okay? And then you explain how the challenge was, but I wasn't very organized at first, right? I wish I had known about Google Calendar to remember all of the classes that I had, but unfortunately, I didn't do any of that, right? And on multiple occasions, I actually missed my classes and got to the center a little bit late, which was heavily or severely punished by uh, by the academic manager or something.
so like financially punished by my manager.
Financially, sure.
Yeah.
I'd just say severely punished, or whatever kind of punishment that you can think of. Okay, but
Mm,
the topic is about busy, so you want to emphasize on how much you were busy at that time. Okay, so it could be
mm,
explained by the number of classes, and how
mm,
much you were forgetting what to say or how to teach, or
mm,
mentally prepared. Mentally prepared would be better put in a situation where you would say that I was just not ready to create any engaging or fun or activity or make some jokes in class. Okay, I
mm,
just froze. Being a good teacher requires you to have good communication skill and the ability to create an engaging environment for the students. But
mm,
I didn't do any of that, right? So
mm.
okay, so she's story then. The time you were very, 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 very busy.
Oh my god, low battery up. Can you wait a minute to charge my battery? My computer?
Sh- Show us the way. We also eager to know how can you. Oh, shit! I think he said figuratively.
Figure out.
Figur,
Figure.
figuratively. What?
No, to charge his battery.
Okay, yeah, okay,
I mean,
so
like
about the time I was so
literally.
busy,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think now.
yeah. Now,
Now
okay.
I'm very busy, yeah, like the busiest time, in my whole life.
Business
Oh,
time in my whole life.
Yeah, the
What do you mean by
busiest time among my whole
busiest?
life.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, busiest time during my whole life, like yeah, during my life, like
Busiest
or
period for sure. Okay.
yeah, the easiest period of time in my life. Probably because as you can see, you have to teach a lot of classes. But I can give you another example, right?
Uh-huh.
Apart from this time. Oh, but no,
The
I'm
noise.
sorry.
Have you bought a new microphone yet?
I ordered it,
What did
but
it?
I think it's gonna take me. It's gonna take like
Several
five
days.
days
Yeah,
to come here.
yeah, yeah.
okay. So, um, cái gì nó có ồ nhá.
No, that's
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Okay. So, that was when I was in military around 4 years ago, right?
yeah.
I was very busy because at that time I was a member to represent my naval academy to go to Hanoi
Okay.
for a for a whole military English competition.
English competition. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
if you don't know about it, it was kind of like a competition among
Noisy, noisy, Minho, noisy,
the
noisy.
noisy. The noise was very annoying. Okay, so that
You're trying to say something, but your mic is already muted.
okay, okay. So
Okay, so
that
an
was
English competition. What's
yeah, was
next?
the whole military like that was an English competition. It was organized for all military universities
Mm-mm.
to take part in,
Mm.
and four people represented like the best four people,
Uh-huh.
yeah, in different military
Each military
and
what do you
each
call it?
yeah in different each military university
Unit,
will
right?
yeah would take part in that competition
Or
to
will
choose
appoint maybe appoint for representatives
yeah
to
for
participate in it.
representatives. Yeah, the best. Okay, so I was one of them. I
Ah.
was one of the four in my naval academy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
uh, at that time I had a lot of things to do because there were two parts in the competition. The first was debates,
Okay.
a debates session, right?
But what?
So a debate session,
Mm.
it was like there were around 10 topics,
Right.
and I had to debate in front of so many people,
Right.
yeah, about those 10 topics. So I had to be so well prepared and spend many hours practicing, choosing the right ideas for these 10 topics.
Mm.
So it
So
took
what
me a
what
lot of
topics did you have?
about about military stuff like
Mm.
um, using guns, or
Gun
wearing,
control.
yeah, wearing uniforms during the
Uh,
time at work in the military environment or something
mm.
like that. Yeah. So I had to be so well prepared to have a good debate, to have a good presentation,
Mm.
right, on the stage. And that was the first thing. But the second thing was about my the personal exam, the individual that an individual exam.
Individual, jour.
Yeah,
Individual,
individual dual.
jour, not dual. Okay.
Okay, individual. That was for that. The second part was for individuals. Each, I mean, like I had to
Mm.
take part in
Each team member. Okay.
the reading, listening, writing, and speaking tests. And so at that time I had to prepare for these four skills. But
Prepare. How do you
also,
show that you're busy? That you were
yeah.
busy. Maybe
Okay,
prepare
so
for how
at the same,
long? Prepare at
but
what time? Maybe
yeah.
overnight or something.
Okay, so at a time I had to run work in military because, as you see, like there were so many activities that I had to do
Uh-huh.
in military, right? So, like in the whole morning, I had to do all stuff related to military activities, like
Huh? Oh,
farming, doing the gardening, those kinds of
okay.
things.
Doing
Yeah.
gardening. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, in the afternoon, I was also I had to, do physical exercise like the requirements when studying or training in that military.
Uh-huh.
So I had to, right, I had to use my time at night to study,
Uh,
to prepare for the competition.
mm.
So some days at that time I had to work over the night.
Stay up late. Yeah.
Yeah, no, work over the night.
Overnight.
Like, yeah, work overnight. I mean, I burned the midnight
Mm.
oil, to prepare, to have a good preparation for the competition, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And the result?
and the results was I had no reward.
After all that preparation.
After all that preparation, I had no reward. Nói
Okay.
chứ một khuyến khích nhưng mà không biết nói là sao.
They call it the
Thế không khó không, nên là no reward.
Tự nhiên quên cái từ ấy nhỉ, nó gọi là cái gì price à? Consolidate.
Consolation.
Consolation
Consolation
prize.
prize.
Consolation
Đó,
prize.
đúng rồi, đó được điểm cái đó. I got
Consolation.
but luckily I got a consolation prize.
Yeah, so you can describe your disappointment a little bit, right? And then, can you imagine that? Until you can tell the exam. Can you imagine that? Like after all that practicing and preparation and hard work for the English competition, our team finished last. We only deserve achieve a consolation prize, which was an insult to my level of English or something.
Which was an insult to you.
To, See, you which an insult to my level of English.
My English level, okay.
Damn.
Okay, so I guess that story needs a little bit of connectors between some of the events to make it more dramatic. Okay, so like if you were to describe yourself as somebody who was very busy, and you could say, honestly, at the time I didn't have even 1 hour of free time. In the morning, I am required to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, right? And in the afternoon, there will be another 3 hours of gardening, right? And obviously, I spent most of the hours in the evening for the English, preparing for the English competition. So as you can see, I didn't have any time at all, right? And but unfortunately, after all of that effort, our team actually finished last. I was the one performing really, really well, but I couldn't carry the 3 dead weights that I had on my team.
You can't stop from the schism, right? Schism?
See?
Is that a word? Schism.
Yeah, does he?
Schism.
Schism?
Something,
What does he?
something like schism or something.
Oh, sarcasm, right?
Sarcasm. Yeah, you
No
cannot
idea.
stop sarcasm, y'all.
No, sarcasm is a noun.
It's quite late now, right?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not late. It's
Yeah,
only
we
10:30.
We can keep continuing for 1 hour later. 3. You can.
No,
Yeah.
no, 20 minutes to 12.
No, it's only 10:30 for me. It's my
No, okay,
my biological clock.
My teacher is so hardworking.
Individual.
Duo.
Okay, try to fix some of the mistakes that you guys have. Yeah, like Minho, I noticed that you often make the mistake of an e and an a. Like neck and neck.
Yeah.
Look at my neck, but have a neck on something.
Hey, Hugh. What do you think is the possible solution for this? What we should do?
There's no solution. You know your mistake. Just fix it.
It's just like, okay, so here's the point.
No, it's a simple sound, right? It's a and e.
Yeah, it's like
just,
is there a way to identify the word that you make the wrong pronunciation, then fix it. So, like, is it like?
I think this is a very common mistake for most Vietnamese students, or even very high level speakers. Actually, I know someone who has a doctorate's degree even in English still makes this mistake. Now it's ingrained in our brain to make this mistake. But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So the thing that I do is that whenever there's an ah sound, I try to open my mouth really wide and stretch it long, like at the back instead of back. Yeah. It's like an ah sound in Vietnamese, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's no different.
But the point is that like normally we're gonna say it as an A, because like there's sometimes that some words they just like I. The you know the word the sound and e, right? And in British in British we call it an E. So that's because like in the
back,
Vietnamese
yeah.
system,
It's one of those
they
words.
prefer British one. And then when we talk about American, when we talk about the American
That's not true.
pronunciation,
It's all back.
I believe the Vietnamese education system
Back. UK.
prefer
Back.
US.
Back.
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 But
Same thing.
back.
Never.
UK.
UK.
Again, can you-
back.
Back.
Okay. It's always back. It's never E. There's no E anywhere.
I will never back. Goodbye.
Give it one more word. One more word.
Back.
Hat.
Back.
Can you use the word hat?
No, hat is different. Hat is it's still a.
Hat. Hat. Hat.
Right. This is hat, but this is hat. Right.
No, it's the same thing. Hat.
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 Same thing, bro. It's and all the way.
Ah.
There's a little bit of E at the end, but it's not clear. Mostly it's just a.
Okay. Yeah. What can I say? I need to repair my my pronunciation again.
Yeah, try to improve and work on that. Okay, I'll see ya.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Peace.